Hello everyone and welcome to Trending in My Life. This week it's Amazon haul 5 and it's a special one because it's a men's choice one, so everything in the parcel was chosen by a man just to see what kind of things we get. Join me. I wanted to start by saying everything arrived in a Amazon bag. There you go. And all previous hauls arrived in a box. And one of the drawbacks to having it in a bag was one of the items, although it was boxed, the box is squashed. So it's not so good when you get the hauls come in a bag. I'll show you the squished box. And there you can see it was squashed quite a lot. I mean, it's a good job the thing inside isn't broken, but it's not good when it arrives like that. But let's start by looking at the items we got. This one I really like the look of. It's a jar opener. It looks so cool underneath, look. So obviously we have to now test it out opening a jar. I have to find one. One jar. One gadget. I immediately thought, that's not going to fit, and then I went, oh right, because there's this handle on top, this big handle, isn't there? And what you do is you wind that handle, and as you wind it, this grows to full size. So now it fits, although it's a bit big. So what you do is you wind the handle smaller. So what you do is you wind that smaller, and then it becomes tight onto the jar, and you can then turn. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, well, I've got it really tight, but it can you see it's turning? Yay! There you go. You just have to press down as you turn, because it does have teeth on the ends of these. Those teeth do lock on to the jar, but I wasn't pressing down, it was slipping at first, but then when I did do it properly it worked. So yeah, useful gadget. These are bottle caps. Like if you opened a bottle of beer but didn't finish it, you could put this silicone cap over the top to use it again. I'll get them out and show you one. There you go, look. They even say beer savers on them. Now I don't have a beer bottle to test it on. This is just a kombucha bottle, which was a screw top, so it doesn't fit quite as well on there, but you get the picture. You just pull them on. They're just really easy to do, but not one-handed, she says. But yeah, they would pull much easier on a beer bottle, which would be not have the ridges on like this does. Yeah, so a very useful thing to have. Next up is a belt. In fact, it was a pack of 2, and it's one of those canvasy, yeah, I think they call them canvas belts, and then you just put the end through. Ooh, can she do it one-handed is the question. Okay, so you put it through. If I can get it on the yellow of the couch, it'll be easier for you to see. So you put it through one buckle and then just slide it back through the other buckle. And there were 2 of those in the packet. Something very useful and handy to have. Next is a steel ruler, which I'm told if you're a man is very useful for measuring things. And I guess when you're doing DIY things or measuring windows, things like that, you might need to measure a small gap. One of these would be very handy and obviously last a lifetime. Now this thing here is to stick on your desk. There's a sticky there, and you put it on the back here, and you would stick it to your desk, and then you would run wires through those holes to tidy the wires. This one here that's in a squished box is, if I show you the back of it, it's a silicone caulking kit where you fill in those gaps where tiles are put onto a surface. I'm sure if you know anything about caulking, you will understand what this is. You can scrape along when you've put it between the tiles to make it even. I'm not quite sure what that is. I know this bit is sharp, so I've been careful not to touch that bit. It looks like a futuristic plane. You seem to be able to run something through that, through there and out there, so that you can then run it along where the tiles are. But I'm assured that it is all very useful. So there we go. This is a fidget ring. It's got two different sort of rows of cogs which you can fidget with. It's absolutely enormous on me, but that's because it's a man's one. But yeah, you can see that you could be sat at work and mulling over a problem and sort of fidgeting with this fidget ring. There we go. Next is a remote control holder. Just basic plastic with a sticky to stick it on to wherever you happen to want it to go, so that you don't lose your remote controls. This is 2 packs of tape. This is that Velcro. You can, because it's on a reel, you can cut however much you want of it, but it's to use as cable ties. So you've got loads of it here, and you can just grab a bunch of wires and tape them together like that. But there's a lot of it, so it's very useful, I'm told. He was thrilled to bits with these. They are those cable labels. You open them like that, you put the cable through, you fasten it like that, but then you can write on it with like a Sharpie and say what the cable is for. And there's lots of them. I think there's 50 of them altogether. And that was definitely the thing he was most thrilled about and said was amazing and wonderful and great, and he'd use all those. So that was the star of the show. So I asked some of those searching questions, like, would you have ordered from Amazon Haul if it hadn't been part of this experiment? And the answer was no. And I said, well, seeing what you got, was it better than you thought or worse quality? And he said it depends what you're looking for. He said there was nothing that could basically be wrong with the cable labelling that he got. And he got 50 of those for a ridiculous price, and he was thrilled to bits with them. They were the star of the show. So for something like that, he said he could see how that would be really useful. For the DIY things like the caulking tools, he said that was really good value for money, and if he'd gone to a DIY store he would have paid a lot more for it. So yes, he could see that there is a place for Amazon Haul just for practical household things. But generally he wouldn't have looked on Amazon Haul, and he wouldn't have bought from Amazon Haul unless it had been part of this experiment. And I think that's the thing. When I discovered that label along the top of the Amazon page, it was like, what's Amazon Haul? And I still think it's very much a part of the Amazon website that a lot of people don't know about. To just explain where this idea came about, in the last Amazon haul I got a shower head, and that shower head has worked perfectly. Maybe there's other things that you could get really cheap off Amazon haul that would work absolutely fine. Maybe not. I mean, you're always conscious of the fact that you're paying $150 to $220 for things. So you have low expectations of the quality of things, but it's not necessarily the case. I mean, for instance, silicone bottle caps, they're not going to be any different quality from any silicone bottle cap. You know, they're just going to fit on top of a bottle. And a metal ruler. I mean, a metal ruler is a metal ruler. You could pay £10 for it, or the price that we did pay for it, which I don't know at the moment because going to put it on the screen. The belts, he did say that they were thinner in width than he would ideally have wanted, but he said they're still perfectly usable. Would you try buying off Amazon haul for DIY stuff, for computer cable-y stuff? Let me know. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. And next month we'll have another Amazon haul. And if you've got any suggestions of what type of things I should order, just let me know. Bye for now.